Hello viewers, at the outset let me welcome you all to the current sequel on tourism products of India. So far we have discussed the natural and symbiotic tourism products of India, which included wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, botanical gardens, zoological parks and hill stations. In today's episode, we shall continue our discussion on tourism products of India. The topic can be studied under the following subheadings. They are Health Tourism Products, Business Tourism Products, UNESCO World Heritage Site in India, Cultural category and Natural category. Let us start with health tourism products. Conventional healing and medicinal health practices, namely Ayurveda, Yoga, Panchakarma, rejuvenation therapy, Unani, homeopathy and modern medical treatments are the focus areas of health-based tourism products in India. With the increase of advanced world-class medical infrastructure and technology, India is turning out to be the best destination for medical tourists. With the competitive pricing, availability of best doctors of the world, large English-speaking personnel, lesser waiting time and mesmerizing tourist attractions, India has great advantage over its competitors. Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Himachal Pradesh and Uttaranchal are attracting tourists for Ayurveda and other alternative health treatments, whereas Chennai, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Delhi and Hyderabad have become advanced modern medical centers. To name some of the leading hospitals treating thousands of foreign tourists in India are Apollo Groups of Hospitals in Chennai, Hyderabad and Bengaluru, Beach Candy, Leelavati, Joslock Hospitals in Mumbai, Max, Fortis, AIMS Hospitals in Delhi, Wockhardt Hospitals in Bengaluru and Mumbai, Narayana Hrudyalaya in Bengaluru. As per the statistic released by the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, India recorded a growth of 30% in the medical and wellness tourism and more than 8,50,000 visited India in 2011, which would surpass 3 million by 2015 end. Coming to business tourism products. The other major area in which India is poised to become regional leader is MICE, which stands for Meetings, Incentives, Conventions and Events as part of business tourism. After the hotspots such as Hong Kong, Malaysia, Dubai, prospects of India in this field are very high. ICPB, that is India Convention Promotion Bureau, is the apex body in India working towards promotion and giving organizational support to MICE activities. Major destinations for business tourism in India are Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, Gurgaon and Cochin. World-class infrastructure is the basic necessity of MICE tourism. In the recent years, such a demand seems to have been met by the industry in India. Good numbers of convention centers, exhibition centers and event parks have come up. Let me name some of the leading centers for your reference. Hyderabad International Convention Center, Hyderabad, High-Tex Exhibition Center, Hyderabad, Bengaluru International Exhibition Center, Bengaluru, Dr. TMA Pai International Convention Center, Mangaluru, CIAL International Convention Center, Cochin, Pragati Maidan, India Habitat Center, Vigyan Bhavan in Delhi, Chennai Trade Center, Chennai, International Financial Hub Convention Center and Kolkata International Convention Center, Kolkata. Having learned about health and business tourism products, now we shall take up next major part of our discussion on UNESCO World Heritage Sites in India. Heritage, as stated by UNESCO, is our legacy from the past, what we live with today and what we pass on to future generations. Our cultural and natural heritages are both irreplaceable sources of life and inspiration. A World Heritage Site in this regard is an identified and listed site by UNESCO for maintenance, protection, renovation and conservation. Such a site represents the global heritage. As of 2015, UNESCO has listed 1031 sites, of which 802 are in cultural, 197 are in natural and 32 are in mixed category. India has 32 World Heritage Sites as of 2015, and of them 25 are in cultural and 7 are in natural category. We shall look at each of them in brief. Let me start off with the sites in the cultural category, first followed by the natural sites in the chronological order of their listing. UNESCO World Heritage Site in India in the cultural category. First one, Agra Fort. Very close to the gardens of Taj Mahal stands the magnificent 16th century Mughal monument known as the Red Fort of Agra. This unbeatable fortress of red sandstone covers within its 2.5 km long enclosure walls the royal city of the Mughal rulers. It has inside many fairy tale palaces such as Taj Mahal and the Jahangir Palace built by Shah Jahan, two very beautiful mosques and Diwan-ki Khas. Ajanta Caves. The earliest Buddhist cave monuments at Ajanta in Maharashtra date back to 2nd and 1st centuries BC. During 5th and 6th century AD of Gupta period, many more richly carved caves were added. The sculpture and paintings here are considered masterpieces of Buddhist religious art. Ellora Caves. Not far from Ajanta Caves, between 7th and 11th century AD were crafted the Ellora Caves. The 34 caves of temples and monasteries dug side by side are stretched over more than 2 km in the wall of a high basalt cliff. One of the architectural marvel of the caves is the Kailash temple. Taj Mahal. Being one of the modern 7 wonders of the world, Taj Mahal needs no introduction. This grand tomb of white marble of Agra, built by Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan in memory of his love for Mumtaz, is the masterpiece of Mughal architecture and global heritage. Sun Temple Konark. The Sun Temple at Konark is a monumental representation of the god Surya's chariot standing tall on the shores of the Bay of Bengal. This look-alike of a chariot with its 24 wheels in symbolic designs led by a team of 6 horses was built in the 13th century. It is one of the India's most famous monument of Hindu temple architecture. Group of monuments at Mahabalipuram. This complex of rock-cut temples are the greatest examples of monolithic Dravidian temples of Pallava kings along the Coromandel coast. It is known especially for its rathas, mandapas, gained open air relief such as thousands of sculptures to the glory of Shiva, the famous descent of Gangas and Arjuna's penance and others. Group of monuments at Hampi. The erstwhile glorious city of Hampi was the last capital of the last great Hindu kingdom of Vijayanagara. It was among the richest cities of the world during 14th and 16th century AD. The ruins still hold the last legacy of fabulously built Dravidian temples, palaces and other structures on the banks of river Tungabhadra in the state of Karnataka. Khajuraho group of monuments. The sanctuary of temples built by the Chandela dynasty at Khajuraho between 10th and 11th century AD is an example of divinity and romance coming together. There are about 20 temples standing to showcase the height of designing, building and sculpting. These temples belong to both Hinduism and Jainism. Fatehpur Sikri. The city of victory built by Emperor Ashoka during the second half of the 16th century was the capital of the Mughal Empire for only some 10 years. The complex has administrative buildings, palaces, temples and mosques, including the one of the largest mosques in India, the Jama Masjid, and tallest gateway, the Buland Darwaza. Churches and Convents of Goa. The Portuguese architecture exhibit its celebration in the form of the churches and convents of Goa, which was the erstwhile capital of the Portuguese in India. Of all the churches of Bom Jesus housing the tomb of Saint Francis Xavier illustrates the glory of missionary efforts in India. Ajanta Caves. Located on an island off the coast of Mumbai, the city of caves is all dedicated to the cult of god Shiva. The rock-cut caves have beautifully carved structures showcasing golden age of Indian art with the most perfect expressions of art. Great living Chola temples. The great living Chola temples are stretched overall of Tamil Nadu and the neighboring islands, which were built by kings of Chola Empire mainly between 11th and 12th century AD. Three of most celebrated magnificent temples amongst all are Brihadishwara temple at Tanjavur and Brihadishwara temple at Gangaikonda Cholapuram and Airavateshwara temple at Dharasuram near Kumbakonam in Tamil Nadu. Group of monuments at Pattadakal. A blend of Nagara style and Dravidian style of temple architecture called Vesara was best experimented at the temple complex of Pattadakalu in North Karnataka. There is an impressive series of 9 Hindu temples and a Jain temple. These temples were built in the 7th and 8th century AD by the rulers of the Chalukya dynasty. Buddhist monuments at Sanchi. Some 40 km from Bhopal on a hill overlooking the plains is the site of Sanchi, which has a group of Buddhist monuments comprising monolithic pillars, palaces, temples and monasteries. Most of these monuments date back to the 3rd and 1st centuries BC of Maurya period. Known to be is the oldest Buddhist sanctuary in the world. It played as the nerve center of large Buddhist establishment across the eastern world up to 12th century AD. Qutub Minar and its monuments, Delhi. Qutub Minar was built in the early 13th century in Delhi by 3 rulers. Basement by Qutb Uddin Aibak, first 3 stories by Iltutmish and the last 3 stories by Firoz Shah Tughlaq. This red sandstone tower is 72.5 meters high. The tower is surrounded by many other important monuments such as the Pillar, Mosque, Alai Darwaza, the tomb of Iltutmish, Alai Minar, Alauddin's Madrasa and tomb, and the tomb of Imam Zamin. Humayun's tomb, Delhi. This was built in 1570 as the tomb of Humayun, the second emperor of Mughals. It is believed that inspiration for building Taj Mahal came from this structure. It has immense architectural significance for being the first garden tomb on the Indian subcontinent. It paved way for many innovations in the later period of Mughal monuments. Mountain Railways of India. 3 railways put together make up this listing as a World Heritage Site. This site includes 3 railways: the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, which opened in 1881, covers a distance of 88.48 km. It was the first and is still the most outstanding example of a hill passenger railway. The 96.4 km long Kalka-Shimla railway was opened in 1903 and 46 km long Nilgiri mountain railway was commissioned in 1908. All the three are still operational. Mahabodhi temple complex at Bodh, Gaya. This temple complex at Bodh Gaya in Bihar is one of the 4 holy sites related to the life of the Lord Buddha. It is particularly more important for Buddhist travelers due to Lord Buddha's attainment of enlightenment here. Emperor Ashoka got the first temple built here in the 3rd century BC, and the other temples were subsequently built between 5th and 6th centuries AD. The complex temples is one of the earliest Buddhist temples from Gupta period, built entirely in brick still standing tall. Rock shelters of in a dense forest on foothills of Vindhya mountains of central India in Madhya Pradesh are located these rock cut shelters. There are 5 clusters of natural rock shelters which had housed the prehistoric dwellers from the Mesolithic period. These shelters are best known for the invaluable wall paintings and writings of the earliest humans on earth. Champaner-Pavagadh Archaeological Park. This park of historic and living cultural heritage properties in the state of Gujarat is located in an impressive landscape of Panchmahals. The concentration of structures includes and many unexcavated archaeological spaces comprising remains of 16th century AD. Capital of Gujarat, prehistoric sites of Chalcolithic period, a hill fortress of an early Hindu capital and many more. Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus. This terminus, earlier known as Victoria Terminus, was built in 1878, is in the city of Mumbai. It has the beautiful blending of themes derived from traditional Indian architecture and Victorian Gothic form revived in India. It is to this day one of the busiest railway termini in India. Red Fort Complex. Shah Jahan shifted his capital from Agra to the newly built Shahjahanabad city in Delhi, and the Red Fort Complex was built as the palace fort of Mughals in Shahjahanabad. Work commenced in 1639 and it took 9 years to complete the fort. This is a much better fort than one in Agra, as emperor and architects borrowed the experience from Agra fort. The fort and the buildings inside are built entirely in red stone. The Jantar Mantar, Jaipur. The Jantar Mantar in Jaipur was the brainchild of the Rajput king Savai Jai Singh. Built in 1738, this was the most advanced astronomical observation center of 18th century. The site has the installations of a set of 20 main fixed instruments having specific characteristics, scales and purpose of their own individually as well as collectively. Hill forts of Rajasthan. If there is any desert state that has been most visited on earth, that would be Rajasthan alone, because it is blend of many things from desert to forts and palaces to rich culture. Each of the hill forts Rajasthan are unique. These forts together have been declared as World Heritage Site. The list includes the 6 majestic forts in Chittorgarh, Kumbhalgarh, Savai Madhopur, Jahalwar, Jaipur, and these forts flourished between 8th and 18th centuries AD. Rani Ki Vav at Patana in Gujarat. Rani Ki Vav is an engineered jewel built on the banks of the Saraswati river at Patan in Gujarat. This is an intrinsically built step well built during the Solanki dynasty in 11th century AD. Now, let me talk about UNESCO World Heritage Site in India in the natural category. Kaziranga National Park. Located along the right bank of river Brahmaputra in Assam, this park is one of the rare sites of ecological importance and animal conservation. Only place on earth for habitation of the world's largest population of single-horned rhinoceros. The park also houses variety of birds and mammals including panthers, elephants, tigers and bears. Kyolidio National Park. The earlier known as Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary, this former duck hunting reserve of a Maharajas is one of the major nesting ecosystems in India for birds of seasonal migration coming in large numbers as far as Afghanistan, China and Siberia. There are around 364 species of birds recorded in this park including the rare Siberian crane. Manas Wildlife Sanctuary. Manas is located on the gentle slopes of the lower Himalayas which has tropical forest and alluvial grassland and tropical forest making it the best place for wildlife. This sanctuary shelters a great variety of wildlife comprising several endangered species such as elephant, tiger, rhino, pygmy hog and good number of bird species as well. Sundarbans National Park. The Sundarbans covers extending in West Bengal state of India and Bangladesh covers an area of roughly 10,000 square kilometer in the Gangetic Delta. It is globally known place for the Royal Bengal tiger and many other endangered species including aquatic mammals, birds and reptiles. It is the world's largest mangrove forest. Nanda Devi and Valley of Flowers National Park. Located in Uttaranchal and nestled high in the West Himalaya, the site includes both the Nanda Devi National Park which houses the Nanda Devi mountain peak and the Valley of Flowers National Park famous for the meadows of endemic alpine flowers and outstanding natural beauty. This rich zone of flora and fauna is also home to rare and endangered animals such as snow leopard, the Asiatic black bear, blue sheep and brown bear. Western Ghats. Much older than the young fold Himalayan mountains, the Western Ghats along the west coast of India represents unique ecological and biophysical processes and geomorphic features rare landforms. The region has thick tropical rainforest with a great variety of bird and animal species including tiger, elephant, Nilgiri langur, musk deer, black deer, flying squirrel and many others. The Great Himalayan National Park Conservation Area. Characterized by high riverine forests, alpine peaks, alpine meadows, the site is located in West Himalayas of Himachal Pradesh. Extended over an area of 1171 square kilometer at an altitude of between 1500 to 6000 meter, this park is habitat for variety of birds and animal species. Having discussed this, I am closing here with the last episode of the series on tourism products. Thank you.